You're live. Okay, let me go see.
I'm telling you, after this project, we're going to be very knowledgeable on Thailand culture.
A must.
Oh, there you go. Hey, we are there.
We are there, right?
Yeah, man. What's up? Hey,
Okay, let's go.
Yep.
The cool thing about the Facebook Live is a closed caption.
Yeah, I saw that. That was pretty cool. That it actually.
Actually, if you look on your phone right now, uh, you can read it real time.
I have it here on Facebook itself, and it says,
Hmm.
"Yeah." The good thing about Facebook, yeah, yeah. That's cool. That's nuts though. 'Cause that way people can watch it while they're like at work, and they don't have to
Hmm.
like
Listen
listen
audio,
to it.
right?
Yeah, they just like read
Uh-huh.
it. Oh shit, what's going on? But yeah. Oh my god. I still keep waking up during the nighttime, man.
Oh, you keep waking up during nighttime?
Yeah, man, like at 5 o'clock in the morning, I wake up and I'm like, oh, I want to go to sleep. Come on.
Oh, wow. Do you have insomnia or?
No, like last time, like earlier this year, like when the pandemic started, I also had that. I kept on like waking up at nighttime,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know why. My hair's
Mm,
like poofy over
interesting.
here.
Okay.
All right.
We got people tuning in. What's up, man? Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. What's up? How's it going? Welcome to the second session of like more like a catching up session, so we know where we're at, and then you guys
Mm-hmm.
can know where we're at, so you can kind of figure out where we're going, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so tell me, we've been talking before we started streaming. You've been telling me about the
Yeah.
research you did. All right, let's do a
So,
breakdown once again.
I have like, hold on. I have one, two, three. This kind of three, four, five,
Do you
six,
have any
seven.
images that you can add to
Some,
the
not
screen?
again, nothing that I've made myself, but there are stuff that I looked up. So, for example, for the rocket festival, well, the rocket festival is not too exciting as far as like imagery because it's just like they build these rockets and then just throw them off. So it's not too pretty.
Mm-hmm. But
But
how do they throw them off by hand or?
no, so they'll launch him. Hold on, see if I can find one. Because I have a website that I found that had. So yeah, so here, let me show you. It's not like too exciting because they're little rockets that are made out of bamboo. So it's literally a tube made out of
Mm-hmm.
bamboo, and then they
Mm-hmm.
just throw it off. Do you see
Okay.
my screen?
Yeah, I guess I need to add it to the
Yeah.
screen, right?
So see, that's this is the rocket. So it's not that exciting. It's literally not nothing much. It's just a stake that flies off,
Mm-hmm.
and then whoever makes a rocket that goes the furthest,
Mm-hmm.
then they win a prize. I don't know what the prize is, but that's one of the ones that they do.
Okay.
Uh, the one, okay, so then they have another one for this god deity, this one, and he's supposed to be a monk god, and
Mm-hmm.
the whole like part of the story with him with Hanuman is that he saved a god's daughter from demons because they were trying to kill her. I don't know exactly why. So then every year they make a festival. I don't know if you heard. I've seen it before, but I didn't know why. They make a festival in Lopburi, and where they make a like a buffet of food just for monkeys. So all the monkeys that live in that area, they come into the city and they eat the food that they left there because they believe that the monkeys are descendants from this god.
Okay.
So every year, they'll make a festival, a feast for the monkeys. So then
Okay.
they
It
get
has a monkey face, right?
yeah,
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
he's Hanuman. So then that's another cool like deity that I can use. The Lantern Festival, that's fucking dope because she had this one. This one, yeah,
Mm.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people have seen this one. This one, it's a pretty dope.
Yes, this is.
Yeah, so
This is the shit.
I like the visuals of this, so that is definitely going to be a part of like the composition or whatever composition I'm going to end up making. This one, it's so there's two versions. There's one that's the Loi Krathong festival that happens in the entire country or kingdom of Thailand, and that's to pay tribute to Ganga, who is the incarnation of the Ganges River, and she's the goddess of the river. And Ganges River is like the most sacred river for India, because a lot of the cultures in that area, they kind of share a lot of the mythos. So it's not just Thailand, but then in Thailand, in Yipeng, I think it was called. Yeah, but they make the similar festival like this, but it's so the one, the Loi Krathong that happens for the Ganga, and that's once a year. That's a national festival that's made to tribute the goddess. But then there's a little one in Yipeng, which is more so that you as a person can release your stress and your worries. So it's kind of like to cleanse yourself from it.
Okay.
And along with these little lanterns, they also have like floating lamps. So then they put them in the river, and they'll like kind of like float away. And then after while that's happening, after that, then they'll release these. But they're kind of like intertwined. So there's two of them, and you can kind of, I guess, pick one or the other. The other one, there's not much pictures in the same because it's for it still goes with like the water kind of thing. So it's called the Mekong Naga fireballs, because there's I have it written down here. There's a creatures called Phaya, Pha Naga, Phaya Naga, and Naga is the word for snake. So the Phaya Naga, the snake, the Phaya snakes are believed to be these mystical creatures that live underneath the where is it? The Mekong River, and in October, around October, which happens to be in the middle of the Buddhist Lent period, they see these little like this kind of orbs coming out of the water, like they're pinkish kind of orbs that just kind of rise. I don't know what the explanation is. Some people say that it's some sort of like gas or whatever that kind of comes up and some sort of thing happens. They try to put science into it, but that river where the Naga are seen is supposed to be the border between like worlds, and then those little orbs that come from the water are those creatures paying tribute to the Buddha, because Buddha is very prominent in the Thailand culture.
Yeah, I mean, in most Asian countries, I think.
Yeah, so I was trying to look at that thing that told you that the orbs, but there's no pictures at all of the orbs. There's no like video, but I mean I could find it, right? So, but it's just like random little orbs that come out of the water. Then I have another one. Hold on, where is it? If not, I look it up. Are people talking here now? So there's one that's the Salak Yom Festival. In the Salak Yom Festival, they make these like 6.5 foot tall trees of sorts, are like kind of like these big cones, and those are they give them to monasteries. So then they think that those trees that they build are going to yield gifts that will transcend to the afterlife. So it's kind of like more so like so they can prepare for when they die, more so than receiving material things. And they're
okay.
Pretty cool. Let me see. Hold on. Salak Yom Festival. I mean, it's interesting in a design perspective, like how we can kind of utilize it in a visual. So like these tall ass things, this thing, see? They're like huge. I guess like like cones. They're like built and like made with like pretty trees and pretty lights or whatever. Now, so they kind of like put a lot of intricacy into it. Let's see. What is it? So yeah, I was looking for the goddess here, but couldn't see it. And then they have the Bosang Umbrella Festival. So they have another belief that in the town of Bosang, this monk came and taught the people of that town how to make the most beautiful umbrellas. And so they celebrate that by creating their own. I don't know when they do that, but let me see if I put both
Damn,
both.
do they claim the year it happened or no? Like how many
No, it's just
centuries ago? Like
it's just kind of like a myth that they,
a myth. Okay.
yeah, because they don't know. I mean, there's not against they don't have a, they don't even have the name of the monk. They just know, they just believe that the monk came to their village at some point in the ancient times and taught them how to make umbrellas. So they're
Mm-hmm.
all handmade and they're like with designs and stuff like that. So they all display this, and they're all
Okay.
different ones. You know, see like pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool uh, umbrellas, and they're all very colorful. And that's what I kind of what they do. And then the other ones that I just put out down in Soybanbat is another kind of village town area where they make the traditional metal bowl. So then they have like sheets of metal. They have a ring, and
Mm-hmm.
then the sheets of metal get kind of wrapped around the ring.
Mm-hmm.
They get heated, and then they just kind of start banging it around, and they make their traditional bowls. And there's some of the last remaining people that do that. Another one that I had written down before, not written down, but I read about was the Mon people. The Mon people are like the oldest descendants of, I mean, oldest inhabitants of the Thai kingdom. And it's just a combination of people from China, Mongolia, and somewhere else that kind of settled into what now is Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the, like I said, the I guess the original inhabitants of Thailand, but there's very little of them left. I just found that it was a cool kind of like anecdote, but there's nothing like visually interesting of them that would set them apart from a traditional Thailandese. I don't know how to call them, but there's not much. I mean, I just found that they're cool that they're the original people. But yeah, that's what I was looking at. A bunch of like different. Um, Again, the lantern. What is it? Yeah. That's more of the rocket festival. See, they're kind of foolish rocket festivals, but
Mm-hmm. I've been to Lantern Festival here in I think Staten Island, maybe.
okay.
It's pretty cool, but it was winter time, so it was super cold too.
Yeah. So is
But
it? Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
but they had a stage with like Asian um circus where they were doing their own traditional, stuff. So that was interesting.
Yeah, because I through me reading all these like uh festivals that I found, they're shared amongst more people than just the Thailand people.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be like for Chinese or whatever. It's anybody. It's mostly the cultures that were built up in that region, not just the one
Mm-hmm.
country.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, and this is the fire naga. That's one of the creatures that is believed to release the orbs from the river. So
Mm.
these are the like the serpents that live underneath the river. But yeah, that was my thing for this 2 days, I guess. That
Nice, dope.
Yeah, man. How about you? What have you been up to?
So yesterday I played. I went on YouTube and I typed in Thai traditional music.
Nice.
That again, that you would hear in like when you go to a massage salon, you would hear it.
Yeah.
But the cool thing that it was mostly utilized by string instruments.
Mm-hmm.
The melody and some like a gong ish like cymbal type of thing going
Okay.
on in the background. So I was thinking, if I don't have a traditional instrument, but I have an acoustic guitar, which is a string instrument too,
Yeah.
I was like, I can just learn, the structure of the melodies and
Yeah.
how, yeah, what elements I need to use to build that element with adding the symbols to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would add that Thai, but also like you said, it sounded to me like Asian ethnic music. Like
Yeah.
I maybe heard from China or Korea too. Very similar.
Yeah, because like I said, a lot of the things that the Thailand because it's a kingdom of Thailand, it's not necessarily a country. So a lot of those. neighboring countries do borrow from each other.
Mm-hmm.
They're very like intertwined with themselves, and a lot. I feel like, well, again, from the little that I have read so far, I feel like Hinduism and like India culture, it ties a lot to into the Thailand culture itself.
Mm. Buddha,
So
right?
yeah, the Buddha, well, Buddha in Thailand is like a huge thing. That's like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of their festivals are pay some one way or another. They're tied to the Buddha. So they're saying like the freaking the Loi Kratom is for the guys Ganga, but then in the everything else is more like for the Buddha. Like I said, Buddha gets a 3 day festival. Like it's just chaos. I mean, not chaos, but like a bunch of like shit going on. Like, ooh, oh wait, let me show you this. Let me find this first, and then I'll show you the masks. Yeah, this one. So these are the masks that are part of the festival for the Buddha, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So these are made with leaves of like palm trees and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and have like design. So everybody makes their own, and they have kind of like the little groups of people. Then everybody kind of makes their own. So like this is kind of like one, I guess, one gang, if you want to call it something. And
Mm-hmm.
then they have other people, and they all have different designs that they show, and there's just a bunch of dancing and music and going on. So that's this is the first day because they're supposed to be when they are receiving the arrival of the Buddha again. But apparently during this time is when they it was so loud, like they were celebrating so hard, they went so hardcore, they woke up the dead.
Oh shit! That what?
Yeah, and that's supposed to be how it happened. That they were so like
Yo, you can't
rambunctious.
be partying too hard.
Well, listen, Thailand people, they're hardcore party. But yeah, man, they're overall, I think they're a pretty interesting culture.
Culture, yeah.
Yeah. But do they have like musically? Do they have like a unique measurement or something that they use that is not found in other places?
Uh from what I've heard so far, not really, because it sounds like I've heard it before, but now I'm doing a deeper research and
Mm-hmm.
concentrate on just Thailand. I may be able to find something that I haven't heard. Is
Mm-hmm.
once you start digging deeper,
Yeah.
it finally appears in front of you. But so far, I'm seeing uh, in the music in particular the elements that I've heard already, and now I'm thinking, well, with acoustic guitar, I may be able to
Kind of
do
like
something,
approach it.
yeah,
Yeah.
approach it, because yeah, looking for during the Twitch on Sunday, I opened the Wikipedia page and there were like
Mhm.
a list of
Yeah.
instruments that I don't even know how to pronounce. And yeah, I don't even know how they look. But I mean, I guess if I sit down and research every single instrument, but I also
Mm-hmm.
noticed that they use a lot of percussion instruments.
Hmm.
That again, if I don't find a particular instrument, but I use maybe regular cymbals, but
Yeah,
play it
yeah.
in like in the rhythm and kind of adding with the music, I may be able to come up with something unique, close to their tradition.
Yeah. I mean,
And I mean, again, we picked a music and tradition and visuals from the country. Like, I have no idea about Thailand. I've never been
no,
there.
nor
Thai
have I.
food, I may have some Thai food, but that's it. I don't even know a lot of people from Thailand.
No, that's true. But I feel like, no, I mean, yeah, you and I both, but they're definitely very spiritual people.
Hmm.
They're very into like their spirituality, and a lot, like I said, like a lot of the things is more like to prepare for the afterlife more so than to have like material goods now.
Mm-hmm.
So, like as far as like after like learning of these kind of things, I do want to like incorporate like kind of like the snake thing, kind of like because even it's a weird like it's a festival to to observing a creature that pays tribute to the Buddha. So like I like that the idea that there's other creatures that also have their own customs per se, and that's why
Hmm.
the Fire Naga, they kind of like have their own festival for the Buddha, for lack of a better term. But people in the mortal realm celebrate that festival by having their own festival. So there's like a lot of layers,
Mm.
you know. It's like
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
That's
so it's like
interesting.
yeah. So I find that it would be cool to have, I guess, again visually kind of like pick that. So if it doesn't end up being like um a landscape, it could be like a portrait kind of like orientation for the piece, and then have like layers of things happening, so you can kind of like show how I guess people in Thailand see more or less like reality itself, because you know they do have like an idea of like the other world, like another realm. So it's not so much so focused on the physicality of the world that we live in, but more so like of the world that is in another spectrum.
Dimension, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Ah.
So like if we can kind of like portray that in some sound, that'd be kind of cool.
Okay. Yeah. Based on what uh, I had on Sunday, the structure, I think definitely intro and outro
Yeah.
could be that. Could take you, some dimension travel. And now I'm seeing like how I can add those elements. So from the first bar of the music, you hear the a traditional ethnic
Hmm.
vibe. But then when the song actually starts, it can be something modern and different. But I think
But can we like can you take like traditional sound and so okay, so like if we had all right, let me show you something. See, the good thing about this thing is that we can switch cameras if it was plugged in. Hold on. I didn't plug in this camera. I don't think it's gonna show up now. Oh yeah, it is. Okay. Okay, so see these are my notes that I have now. But let's say you have like the music, right? There's like the music line, right?
the song. Hmm.
Yeah, it's on. So you have here like the introduction of like uh, um traditional sound, right? And then you
Hmm.
want to have like this part right here would be a modern take, right?
Hmm.
But is it possible to carry this in some form throughout the wave, like throughout the song here, so
The
that
song.
yeah, so that we don't necessarily leave the the um the mood or feel of this ancient time
Hmm.
and
I
kind of like
think there is a bridge part that's gonna be like 8 bars, maybe.
mm-hmm,
Like at 75% of that modern part, that's gonna be kind of slow-ish, and
mm-hmm.
those elements can come back in the form of kind of reminding you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you know better than I do, so you do what is right. But I just like I would want to because when I'm gonna draw it, I'm gonna definitely like so it's gonna be modern in the sense that I'm gonna be making it my own now. So
Hmm.
by default, my style would make it more modern-ish, but I'm gonna keep like the iconography and the symbols pretty much true to what they are and how
Hmm.
they've been.
Hmm.
So like if so, I would this is just me talking, not saying that this has to be that I would want it to have like so that the music can kind of like maintain that and like keep you in that state of mind throughout. So
Hmm.
like we don't so like you have like coherent like storytelling, I guess.
I think the piece is 3:30 or maybe 4 minutes right now.
Hmm.
I think a minute and a half could be that, just concentrating on a traditional.
Yeah, I mean like so like for example like if they had for example let's say just for the sake of argument let's say that the guitar was their instrument, right?
Hmm.
So like what if like the guitar was like the continuous like the thread that puts everything together, then you can build up on top of it So like
Mm-hmm.
let's say that the guitar and the flute are their thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then your intro is guitar and flute, and just those two because that's kind of like the introduction to this culture. But then you can get rid of the flute, it's fine. But then have the guitar still play on throughout the track as the connecting thread from the beginning to the end. So then at the end you still go back to how you started as like the flute and the guitar, but we never lost the guitar. So we were always in the same train of sorts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
So
mean, yeah, it can be done. It's musically. I mean, again, we're not attached to like a certain, tempo or certain, but having a string instrument throughout the whole thing,
mhm.
I mean, it's doable because I mean, at least I can play guitar.
Yeah, yeah. So it would be kind of cool, and you play guitar pretty dope. So why not? Why not take advantage of that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking about it, but as far as coming up with certain, melodies and ideas, I need to listen to more. I need to listen to like 2 hours of like
Thailand.
traditional Thai music. Yeah, so I'll hear and remember.
Mhm.
Like what we're discussing before. You look at certain images for 15 minutes and they kind of build a baseline in your head to work off of.
Mhm.
I think, yeah, if I do the same, and I know if I do the same, but I need to just put my headphones on while I drive in the car, just put the music
Yeah,
and kind of program the music in my brain.
yeah. You have to let it soak in.
Yeah, and I know it's doable. I just need to learn more as far as the structure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the whole point of like this, so we can like kind of like get deep into these different cultures that we'll try to kind of
Hmm.
create from. So we have to kind of reprogram our brains to think
Yeah, this is
in
totally
that track.
different because my brain is like a Rubik's cube right now. I'm like twisting it, and like colors are not matching.
Yeah,
And like,
man. Good.
how do you make all this music with, I mean, with sounds you don't have, but yet string instruments in any culture.
Hmm.
We all have different string instruments, but yet they kind of sound the same.
Yeah, because it's still you strumming a string or like
Mm-hmm.
doing something with it. So at the base, the sound is generated by a similar motion.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
why I think with this particular one, it would be close to original, hopefully, and then if I can make it sound in post production, kind of thin-ish and with a little bit brighter or darker,
yeah,
I think we
that's
can
what,
make we can make it work.
yeah, that's what I was going to tell you because you have the ability now, you have the luxury of technology, so you can manipulate sound afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, well, we're way off on what we're doing, but like I learned that through watching the guy that made the soundtrack for the Doom game.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, forgot his name, but anyway, but he has, and I sure don't know if you watched it, but like he has this setup where he feeds like guitar riffs into it, but at the end of it all, it's been so processed that you can't tell that it was
A
a
guitar.
guitar riff because it's just I don't know, it's like an amazing machinery that he created with all these like different plugins and like
Mm-hmm.
modifiers to the sound. So like he would have like one that makes the wave square wave, but then he would go and distort that and add a different kind of noise, and then
Mm-hmm.
denoise it, but with another form. So he would only get rid of this frequency, but then add this into it. So by the time that you hear the sound coming out, it's nothing like the original guitar.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we have technology. You have technology. We can like use technology to our
Mm-hmm.
advantage. So
Agreed.
it's more like making do with what we have, but they're not necessarily limitations per se.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just
I think keeping in mind that we're going after certain traditions and not necessarily messing up
hmm
the whole composition. Yeah, I think that it's not limitations per se, but more
hmm
uh, being thoughtful of what we go after. Because I mean,
Yeah,
if you have a large piece of artwork, and when you look at it, it's like, oh, well, this is Thailand. I can tell
yeah,
this is Thailand.
yeah. That's what I want.
So did you figure out what kind of size of paper?
I'm still going to use the same one, the 12 by 18.
Okay.
So it's going to be large regardless, whether it be portrait or landscape is going to be a large one.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's what we're going for. We're going for a big one. I'm definitely going to use watercolor pencils because I like the look of it. I mean, I'll complement it with other things like mixed media regardless. But the base is going to be made with. Hold on, sorry, I pulled up a video, but I'm pausing. So I'm going to use mixed media for the entire piece, but it's going to be. I'm going to use gouache, like I'm going to use paint for the base, and then I'll use color pencils to like add details. I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to use like black ink outlines per se. I may try to just keep it colored in, no outline, so it's going to be more like a paint and not an illustration. Because my style is more like illustrations. You know, like I'll do outlines and I'll ink it and make it look like it was like a comic book or like a storybook. But for this one, I want to go and make it look more like a painterly feel to it.
Okay.
That's what like that's my idea of it. I'm just trying to find the because this guy's the composer's name is Mick Gordon. Mick Gordon, and then he had a slide that he tells you how the here. Yeah, so this is kind of like what he has for his thing, so that you're like, so you see what I was talking about. So this like his setup of sorts, and it'll like this is how like everything gets distorted, and then it'll give you the final input. But the sounds that he makes are insane. So like I don't know. I like to, I'm pointing at myself because I was amazed by his talk. So yeah, and like he even like did this weird thing. Like he made, I don't know what it's called, but when you see like the waveform in I will load to see. Hold on, can you load? Thanks. The spectrum of the sound, and then he injected imagery into that spectrum. So see, he has 666 because for Doom, so it's like like all evil. But then those numbers played up. I mean, that image, because you put any image in that spectrum graph, but those images affected the sound.
Oh damn.
So, yeah. So and then this guy is nuts. He went way deep into this thing because his prompt from the developers was don't use guitars. But if you are a fan of Doom, the original Doom was heavy metal-ish kind of driven. So for him, he was a fan of the original Doom. He said, well, how can I make a soundtrack for Doom with no guitars when its birth is with guitars? So in the beginning, he tried a bunch of shit without guitars. But then he came back to it and said, fucking no, I have to use guitars because it's what feels right. But I'm not going to just make it a guitar. And then he ended up making all these like random processes to make guitars not sound like a guitar.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, so I mean, if you have time, watch his talk. It's an hour long, but it's incredible what he does with the rule of no guitar. I was like, damn, that's rough. But yeah, so if we can have like some weird thing going on like that, it would be kind of cool. So because I would have known that there was 666 in the spectrum of the sound unless he pointed it out. But then after that, after he did it, a bunch of other like people started doing it. So it's like, all right, whatever. But it's cool. It's just I feel like it's a cool little thing. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I mean the technology nowadays allows you to go left, right,
Hmm.
forwards, backwards, and
Yeah, you
whatever
can do it.
dimension you want to go.
Absolutely. So we can take advantage of the flexibility of technology.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, even though I'm composing one piece in my head right now for like the image, it doesn't mean that we can't take that image afterwards and make something cool. So like ideally, let's say well, let me see if I can fit it in here. Otherwise, I'll take a picture. But if I can't scan it, I'll take a picture of it. But it'd be cool if we can kind of add some sort of like moving parts to the still image when you look at it in digital. So like if you look at the digital version of the image, it's not going to be the same as a physical one, because in the digital one, I can make it come alive,
Mm-hmm.
like I can divide it into layers and then have certain things move a certain way. And then we can play around with that. So like we can use the sound as a means to justify or like to kind of like make sense of the movement, because it's not going to be like animated, like as in like there's not going to be an animation of like somebody probably walking around, but like what if like I draw clouds and I make the clouds kind of like fade in and out, but what if those fading in and out are to the tune of whatever instrument you have,
Mm-hmm.
so we can have like visual elements act upon your music. So it'd be kind of like a cool idea for like a digital interpretation of a traditional media art. You know?
Can you make like MP4 out of it?
Yeah, I mean, once I put it into the computer, I'll probably use something like Blender
Mm-hmm.
and then render it out as a video format. It'll be MP4 because that's mostly what people use, and then we
Mm.
can use that out. So you get like it'll start off traditionally because that's what I feel more comfortable with. And because I tried this and I tried to draw yesterday something digitally, and my setup is not ergonomically set up for digital work, so my neck started hurting. And when I was like, forget it, never mind, nope, I'm just gonna stick to paper, because I know that if I can do paper, I can do paper for hours. But how I have it set up is not prime for digital work, because my posture kind of like shifts because my monitor is at an angle and then the tablet is at
Yeah.
another angle. So then like this side that I'm kind of turning this way, it starts hurting, and I was like, I forget, I can't. And if I'm gonna spend time on it, I don't want to be having a pain in my neck.
Oh yeah. Damn. I
Yeah.
feel you because when you sit in the weird position, god damn.
Yeah. So, and I tried, like I put like a little base and everything, so I can kind of like move it and like have like the tablet more up here, but still like just having my neck turned to the side. Not an ideal thing, because like right now I'm looking at my computer, but then I have a monitor right here. So then I
Mm-hmm.
draw over here. There's another monitor, whatever. But then so like okay, so here in the screen, right? So there's a monitor here, but then the tablet's over here. So they're all in different angles, and my neck is like, you know what, bro? I can't. No. And I was like, fine, whatever. But yeah, man. But that's so far like what I've done. Like there's a lot of festivals that I like as far as like um images. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
see if I can find, because I try to find videos to hear what music is being played
During the
at the festival.
festivals.
Yeah, but a lot of the footage is people that like just record and then they put a track over it and it's just
Uh,
edited. No, bro, but that's not what I want. I want to know what they're playing there, like in the street, like who's what.
exactly.
So like whatever. So then that's what I'm trying to look for, and then if I find them, I'll send them to
Yeah,
you so you
send it
can
to me
hear it.
because it will be helpful too.
Yeah, because it's music that only gets played for that festival. So
Mm-hmm.
like it's not like necessarily like a traditional quote unquote. Like it's traditional in the sense that it's part of a tradition, but it's not something that it gets a continuous play. It's just for that occasion. So yeah, I'll look for that. I'll send it to you. Like for example, for the one for the lanterns, I looked at for videos, and every video had EDM music. I was like, okay, sure, I enjoy it, but not what would be considered traditional for Thailand people, I was like,
Five
no.
centuries, 5 centuries ago, they didn't have EDM.
No, I was saying so. I was like, all right, great, thanks. Thanks. I was waiting for that beat to drop.
Yeah,
But,
I
but
mean
yeah,
that's
man.
that's the YouTube. They can sometimes they can not dislocate you. They guide you towards a weird direction.
Yeah. And I'm like, damn, dude, I need like some sort of like raw footage from in the street.
Mm-hmm.
and like somebody some camcorder of like some like little abuelita or like some sort of grandma that like just recorded it, doesn't know how to edit and post it online, and it's just like
Mm-hmm.
the raw audio. That's what I
Yeah.
want.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's a good point. Going to Thailand and just experiencing the festival in hearing the music.
Yeah, because like there's sounds that they make for that. Like for example, like for the one with the masks, it's a festival of dance and food. So if it's dance, I don't think it's gonna be the spa music that they're gonna be playing. You know, because you
Mm-hmm.
can't dance to that music. You have
Oh
to do
yeah,
something
of
more
course.
like moving. Yeah, so not like the relaxing thing. So there are some sounds that I think that I haven't heard from Thailand because again I didn't find out about all these Thai festivals until like yesterday and the Monday. So, but yeah, I'm excited though. A lot of reds. So I don't know what that means for music stuff, but they use a lot of reds. They're very
Mm.
they're very bold in color. Like I haven't seen much pastel. They'll either use like a finite color or white, kind of like to have highlights, but they're mostly like flat, rich pigments. So like red, blue, yellow,
Mm-hmm.
greens, very little browns, but like very like loudish, kind of like rich colors. And gold. Gold is like a
Mm.
go-to for them. Gold.
Gold. Okay. I
Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah. Gold is like a go-to for them. That's like a thing. The only thing that's kind of like a softer color is the lanterns, but that's like regular light, so it's not like they didn't paint it. But whenever they paint stuff, it seems to be very bright, unless they use like pinks and whatnot. But again, it's not like a pastel version. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
lighter color, so like a green, a yellow. They're lighter colors, but they're not necessarily like too muted. So again, I don't know what
Mm.
that means for music stuff, but they're very bold with their colors.
I guess solid textures. I think
Yeah.
I would say, and also because I mean, when you think of music, is you can make music darker or brighter too. As
Hmm.
far as colors, I mean, I guess yeah. I mean, I can search for some sounds that could relate to certain colors,
Right, right, right.
and I just need to think accordingly.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I mean, that's
Well, that's
that's what we call thinking outside of the box. Can be just thinking straight ahead.
yeah, yeah. So like, see, there's a picture of like a painting that telling the story of the Buddha, but even then, like the most pastel color that they have is the sky, but their characters are pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
See, like they're rich pigments. That's what I mean. Like they're pretty rich in
Mm-hmm.
pigment. They're not like faded. Like with the background, you have gray tones and like lighter tones in the background, but in general, they're pretty much rich colors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's dope.
yeah. That's the Buddha or the Prince. What's his name again? Forgot. Vasantara, something like that.
Damn,
Yeah, but
I wonder if they have cartoons.
Thailand what Thai cartoons?
Uh huh.
That'd be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. So I love cartoons. So.
Me too. So let me see. Thai cartoons. Thai cartoons. It's cool because cartoons usually tell you a bit more of the culture because
Yeah. Yep.
you're catering to the kids, so it's like more traditional. Yeah, do they have Thai cartoons, man? Like a show that's made Thai for Thai people? It's called Dinulingo Thai for Kids. No, man. Thai cartoon. Here we go. Let me see. This is what it looks like. Hold on. I haven't watched the clip, but this is what we have. This kid.
Uh oh. Okay.
Yeah, and there's gonna be a lady coming up. That's them.
Okay. That's the bad guy, right?
I guess so.
Or no? Is he?
Man, it has to because they're all like looking at him, and he looks evil. Yeah, yeah, he's evil. Man. Look at that
Okay.
face.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I guess we're gonna have to look for more Thai culture
Hmm.
stuff.
Hey, yeah, cartoons definitely tell a lot about culture.
Excuse me. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Okay, that's what's up. Okay. Uh, Damn, there's a lot to learn. It feels like I haven't even started yet.
You and me both, man. You and me both.
Oh
Because
man.
there's so much going on. I mean, we're going into a culture that we don't know, so there's a ton of things that we don't know.
Yeah, word, man.
But it's gonna be cool because again, we're gonna learn so much from it, and then when we come out at the other end,
Mm. You know when you're lost to the point you're like you get pissed. It's like how the fuck where the hell do I start? Even start?
yeah, that's why I feel that's where I was on Monday. But now they sort of saying no, I need to have like some sort of like foundation for my beginning. So that's what I fuck it. Let's go with traditional festivals. So I put traditional ceremonies, and then from ceremonies, it gave me a bunch of like wedding ceremonies. So like I want a wedding ceremony. I want something that's like more for the entire culture, not just a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I came up with festivals, and then I was like, oh, this is what I want because in festivals you kind of see more things, like the costumes and the masks and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I get it. I get the feeling of like not knowing where to start because it's a huge pie, man. It's a huge pie, and you're like, all right, which one do I eat first? And even then, the slice is like a huge slice. Of like, oh fuck, I'm not gonna finish this right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll take some time, but I feel like if we keep going like this, we're gonna have to fall into the rabbit hole. But in order for us to fall into the rabbit hole, we have to get deeper in. So then now I'm gonna start looking up like more things about the Lantern Festival and then the Naga fireballs from the Mekong River. That's those are the things that like stood out to me, or like about Hanuman, the god that saved the daughter from the demons. I want to know more about that story now. So like
Mm-hmm.
that's where I'm gonna go now for like those mythologies and like figure out where all these like beliefs come from. And then from reading it, like sometimes like when you read about stuff, even though there's no image, it gives you an image in your head because you learn more of it. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't necessarily need to see something sometimes. I just have to learn what it means to them, and then I can interpret it on my own.
Mm.
You know,
Fair enough.
so that's why I like to learn the philosophy of things. So like the philosophy tells you like
Yeah, yeah. It tells you the background and why
mm-hmm.
they go in certain directions.
Yeah, like the intent for it, like
Uh-huh.
what's going on. Yeah, man. That was my dive into the Thai culture. You know what also makes it hard for Thai, as we said, they a lot of the things that Thai people do is shared by other cultures. So sometimes I find myself that I'm going too far into another area because I start seeing like Chinese and Indian kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, that's not where I want to go. But then you keep going, it's like, no, it's still the same. It's just not exclusive to Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
And again, because Thailand is supposed to be a kingdom, not a country. So the kingdom of Thailand encompasses a lot of regions, like Mongols, Indian, Chinese, and people that were in that area are still heavily invested in the ancient culture of this kingdom that became Thailand. So,
Hmm.
I mean, hey, it's a lot of flavor, man. A lot of flavor and a lot of spices.
That's all it is. You need to understand the flavor, and then it'll be easier. Yeah, because if I don't understand the flavor, it's like goddamn,
Mm-hmm.
what
Yeah,
kind of spices do I need to use?
exactly. Yeah, it's cooking, but in a different way. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely an undertaking. So hey, not that the further we go, the better we get. So it's just a matter of keeping on,
Mm-hmm. And I
keep
feel
on keeping
like
on.
I
Hmm.
mean we all use the same ingredients: meat, water, and vegetables,
Yeah.
but yet it tastes different.
Hmm. Yeah,
Within
because
different culture.
like you said, you know that they play a lot of string instruments, but even though you may not have the instrument, you still have a string instrument. So
Mm-hmm.
the overall bass is still there. It's just of how the sound behaves. And that's, I get why you said, like, to make it a bit more light, like, because I guess the guitar carries a heavier tone than what they use over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
their instruments sound much thinner.
mhm. And I think it's all because of how their life is, like how their philosophy is, like very spiritual, very like lightning, like always rising up. Or like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
their things is rising up. You know, the orbs rise from the river, the lanterns rise up,
Mm-hmm.
the rockets fly up. You know, they wake up the dead. It's everything upwards, upwards. You know, so it's even, and now you said it, like with the whole like instrument being light, it all kind of plays together to achieve this, like, I don't know, like this Thai culture. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's straight up. I mean,
Yes, and that's all it is, just up. You know, out of all the cultures to pick, we pick Thailand.
I mean,
Yeah.
it couldn't be simple. So it's like
No, man.
let's do something different.
Simple is boring, you know?
Simple is boring, and I mean, we know how to do simple. So
Yeah. We have
why
to now make,
just continue doing what we know already? Is I think more we explore and learn is just better for.
we gain more tools, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And I
We
mean,
gain,
I like philosophy myself, and
mm-hmm. Same.
those countries, especially Asian countries, they have a strong philosophy in
Yeah.
a discipline.
Yeah, and that's why like the whole like Buddhism thing. I'm gonna have to like start learning more about Buddhism,
Hmm.
which is very prominent and relevant for uh, Thai people. They're very into that the Buddhist mindset.
Hmm.
So yeah, that should be our like guiding force, I guess. Their philosophy.
Yeah, that's a good starting point. I'm not now. I'm like rethinking the Twitch stream we did on Sunday because I'm like that. I may need to scratch a
But it's
lot of
fine
it.
because that made they gave you a base though. Like you have something to scratch. You know, you have something to build from. You know what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
So we still made progress, and like it helped me to like learn like this, like the whole like facade, the whole like beats, because they have a ton of beats. So that's definitely
Mm-hmm.
going to be part of like the whatever I end up drawing.
The old
Beats will
lady
be
with the
there.
pipe.
Yeah, yeah, man. Hey, smoking is also part of like their thing. Like even the lady, the old lady, the old guy, they're all like high people. So yeah, the more we do, the more we learn, and then we can kind of like compose better parts. And then from here until Sunday, I'll play around with more visuals, and then by
Yeah.
Sunday, for Sunday, I want to make like little pieces, like small compositions
Mm-hmm.
that are probably like roughly color, just so I can see like contrast between colors, and then I can get like a mood board going. Because I feel like that would work. Like it would help to have a mood board so that I can look at.
Okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to creating a mood board in my session too because but I need
Yeah.
I'm gonna take literally I'm gonna take acoustic guitar and just play along with the Thai music.
Oh, that'd be
That's
kind of cool.
yeah, that's I mean that the only way I can learn how to do it is just by playing along.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's no other way because I mean, or maybe I can find the music charts from Thai.
Hmm.
I don't know if they exist, if they ever write it down, but
Yeah, that's true.
oh, hey, that's why we have Google. Fuck it, let's go
Yeah, because
again.
like all these like ancient cultures are more like traditions passed down from generation to generation. More so, they're like they don't have like sometimes like written stuff. Like right
Hmm.
now, I put like Thai music chart and it just gives me the top 40 music. Like that's not what we want.
Oh
Because I feel
man.
like, because like everything now is like more modern in the sense that everything kind of like now bleeds into each other.
Hmm.
So
Even on YouTube, if
Yeah,
you type in Thai music, it'll give you modern, you know.
yeah, and they're all gonna have like this pop feel to them,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine for now, but it's not what we're going for. We're going for like the back in the day kind of thing.
Yeah, old school.
Real school. Yeah,
Yeah, man. Wow. That was
yeah.
that was a twisted, you know, not twisted. That was a interesting brainstorm session because, like my brain is totally lost. Maybe because I'm still trying to wake up and process all the information about Thailand
hmm
and combine, the sounds I've heard already. But
Yeah,
uh,
because our brains try to make sense of stuff.
yeah, yeah,
Why?
yeah, yeah. But I mean, hey, we all have same brain. So if people from Thailand could do it, then we can do it too.
hmm So I went to the Facebook Marketplace. I'm not saying that we have to buy anything, but they have this instrument called the teak wood instrument. It's a percussion and it looks like a xylophone, but it's look. I'll show you. It's pretty neat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was thinking like maybe we can ask people to borrow instruments and be like, hey,
Well, this looks to me like a xylophone ish.
yeah, that has a very like with a short decay because the little bottom part I think is what like is a kind of like a hollow entrance, so that's where the sound like
Mm-hmm.
to like a short little gone. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if they have any more, but I just put Thai instrument on
I see
the mark.
guitars there, so okay.
Yeah, this one acoustic electric fin string, 3 fin string Thai Lao guitar. This is kind of weird maracas. This I don't know what the hell this is, but that's there.
Well, I see regular guitar, so I mean,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. But I mean, I put music instrument, so they might be just coming up because it says music instrument on the title.
yeah, true.
Like violins, come on, I don't think they had violins or banjo. Banjo's not Thai.
No,
Banjo's not a Thai instrument. So
banjo. Oh man, wow.
yeah, man,
Okay.
we're going into the deep end, you know.
Okay.
And,
Inhale, exhale, and
and let's keep going.
carry on. Yeah.
hmm That's
Yeah.
the name of the game, man.
Yeah. So we'll be back on Sunday on Twitch, guys. Twitch TV,
Yep,
Afflatus Jam.
down there, it's scrolling down. Now we. There you go. There you go. Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh, scrolling. Hey, there you go. So yeah, check us out on Sunday sometime. Follow Twitch and you'll get notified. That way you know exactly the time. It's usually at nighttime. But yeah, come and hang out. We'll be making stuff. These are streams more like in order for us to catch up with each other. And then you guys can also be part of the process of what we're making. But then the making of takes place between the days of stream. So like right now, after this, I'll take a few days until Sunday to research more and probably sketch out stuff. And then on Sunday, like I said, I'm gonna create a mood board. So I'll make like little like paintings of sort. And then Dennis is gonna make whatever he needs to make.
Oh yeah, same here. I'll research on the music side and yeah, pick the guitar up and you know do my thing.
Jam it up, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man.
All
Well,
right.
thanks everybody that watched. Anybody else that's watching on the saved video, and we'll see you next week in the same place.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.